All right. How's it going, bro? It's been a
Not
minute.
much. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. We wanted to talk about a couple things, huh? Well, I'll tell you. You wanted to talk about Ukraine. Did you happen to see them video clips of Pinasinski or Zelensky when he showed up in Canada when the people were there and they were like, "Get the f out of here, f off." They were pissed.
I didn't know he was there. I thought they were just doing that to Justin Trudeau. That makes more sense. I
No,
actually shared that clip on TikTok, and I didn't realize Zelensky was in Canada at the time. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
did see that. That
yeah,
was nice to see people just being that passionate too. And like, there's nothing wrong with that energy or anything like that. People always think things have to be like love and light, but things play out in the physical and stuff, and it has to play out with a plausible timeline to get to the proper conclusion. So it is what it is. Like, that energy is good. What I've seen in people and them yelling at them and stuff, that actually like made me feel good inside to see that energy in people.
yep.
That's
Yeah,
that.
there's so much crap going on. This, like with is involving you. Like so many lights are being shed on Ukraine that it's insane. Like like one of the things. So like, and Joe Rogan even talked about this that the United States accidentally sent more money to Ukraine in the tone of like 6 million or $7 million or $1 billion
Right.
or whatever to Ukraine that they over like, oh, as an oversight. Yeah, that's a big mother effing oversight. And so, but yet to completely for the people over in Lahaina for them to completely rebuild is 5 billion and they haven't sent them squat. It's like this, like folks, people need to wake up. Like they don't give a damn about us. It's all about just they're literally doing everything possible they can to crash our economy. When are people going to wake up and see this crap? They don't care about us. Michael Jackson, they don't care about us.
I love that song. Yeah, he was trying to tell us. He was trying to tell us. Everybody's allowing it, including myself, because I get it. Because we don't see an option on what to do and stuff. But it's energy theft. What we see happening with these. That's why they write these crazy dollar amounts in actual mainstream news stories about what, like, the U.S. is sending Ukraine is because, like, it's energy theft. Like, money is energy. Like, it's
Yeah, and
currency
our
exchange.
money is green, so it's green energy. People know about green energy. The colors, how it relates to the chakra. It's important. There's a
Everything's
reason they
important, and
use.
everything.
There's a reason they use green. Same thing with Thoth. Emerald tablets. A
Yeah,
lot of stuff is associated with green, with malachite, the crystal malachite and jade, like all of it. It's important.
serpentine green. Green is the center of the color spectrum, and like all life on Earth stems from green vegetation. Like, you could take the most carnivorous animal or creature or whatever, and you could just boil it back a couple steps on the food chain, and you could see that it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for green vegetation. Like, there's, I'm not going to get all deep into it. I've made videos about it and stuff, but there's something very particular about the color green in this reality, because the sun is having some sort of reaction that we call photosynthesis, but it's all centered around the color green. Green is the middle of our visible color spectrum. So it's certainly some particular details of the matrix or whatever. However, anybody, like, I try to stay away from any particular like verbiage or titles to things. I just use whatever pops in my mind at that time, because who knows, what's more accurate. But green is everything here, it seems.
Well, one of the things that now being an awakened individual, um, and this probably was before you were born, but back when I was a kid, and most people that are my age, or like, at least in their like late 30s, mid to late 30s, when I asked them like, "Do you remember what the sky looked like when you were a kid? What color the sun was?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, it was yellow." And I'm like, "What color is it now?" And they all go, "It's white." And I'm like, "Yeah. When did that happen?" And everybody gets confused. So whatever happened, it was a slow transition. It was not a quick thing. It was really slow. So if you think about the sun looking through up into the sky was yellow, and we got a blue sky. I mean, deep blue skies. Yellow and blue is green, which gives us that. I think
Hmm.
would give us the photosynthesis, which is why a lot of our green plants that we had, like back when I was a kid, what I remember everything green and lush and beautiful. Now it's like not doing so great. It's having an issue.
There's a lot of places on the planet that are not doing so great when it comes to green vegetation. They always they blame it on like us driving cars and stuff. And I'm not saying that that's helpful to the environment because I don't understand it or anything, but there seems to be something like what you're explaining to me is there's some kind of reaction happening that's changing to go from like yellow to this like bright white, almost looks like a light bulb shining like a regular like compact fluorescent light bulb or something, which I know it's not a light. Well, I mean, I guess it could be some very advanced form of light bulb, but we have
Xenon.
enough monitoring. Yeah, we have enough monitoring systems now to kind of get a little bit of an idea. But it's like a gradual thing that it's an effect from something like something maybe it is another star coming in that's a part of our system. It could be all of these things that we always discuss and think about and stuff, but something's changing things, and it's been changing it on like a gradual but steady like pace that seems to be sped up or quickened to me now. Just just I think since 2017, like just whatever timeline we're on to get to some kind of whatever
Well,
sequence of
do you remember? Do you remember the video that I did where I was talking about the NASA star? They
yeah.
put they actually put up like they actually the patent is on was in the 70s. And remember, I've had some videos where you can actually see it going around the sun or going around the Earth, getting in the way of the sun. So I think now this is my own hypothesis. Okay, I think what's happening now, it's made with xenon bulbs. General Electric, or no, excuse me, Bausch and Lomb are the ones that provided the light bulbs. So I think what they've done is they've put it in the way of the sun to basically line it up perfectly between the Earth and the sun, like this, and they have it turned on, which is what gives us that ultra bright white light. And then
Right, yeah.
of course when they're chemtrailing, it just makes everything white. So you really can't see what's going on, behind that thing. So a secondary sun, other planets, UFOs, mothership, you're not going to see it because of that. The light pollution really is what it is, light refraction and pollution. So with that light, so all your conspiracy theorists like, oh, the Earth is flat and there's just a single light bulb and it's over here like in this. Okay, from that perspective, yeah, okay, you're kind of right, but you're not all the way right. Yeah, they have that there, but they're blocking the majority part of the sun that we should be getting. And now, as far as like your pollution thing that you're talking about with cars, dude, it is honestly, it is so minuscule that it's absolutely
That's what I
ridiculous.
think too.
See, like
I don't think they're that powerful to affect all this
one
with what
one volcano, okay, one volcanic eruption puts more pollution in the atmosphere than all of mankind
yeah,
ever for the last 5,000 years, ever. One
right.
volcano. So what we're doing is nothing in comparison to.
Yeah, I mean, and we're
Now,
not
granted,
bringing
it is contributing, but whatever.
we're not bringing foreign materials either. Like everything that like all of the technology, our vehicles, the fossil fuels, everything is from here anyways. Like we're just compacting it together in a certain way for a reaction to use it, but like it is the same stuff that's already here that and like you said, like a volcano or something letting off all these same kind of gases, whatever it is. I'm not going to pretend to be like an expert in any of it, but there's no way that we could affect. It's too much. And just to touch on it real quick, just to document it, at this day I do lean, I am confident in things are spherical. I don't I if we are on a flat plane, I don't think anything else is a flat plane that we can observe. So and like just to have to do with like a lot of stuff like with cells and everything, like it break it like micro macro levels. Like I just have to go with what makes the most sense to me. I can see Saturn, I can see the moon. Given I can't see all the way around them, but they really appear to be spherical to me, everything that I can observe. So
Yeah,
it would
exactly. I mean,
if the Earth is a flat plane, it's on its own being
yeah, I've
flat.
seen Jupiter through telescopes where like one night you go out and you can see Jupiter and you can see the red storm dot, and then like the next night you go out there to look and it's moved. Well, the only time you get that is if there's rotation. So, but either way, and I've
Well,
said this before. We know because of CERN that there's multiple different dimensions. In fact, an infinite amount of multiverse universes, all that kind of stuff, right? So, and every time they fire it up, they're literally destroying the universe in which we live in, and we literally shift into a parallel universe, which is where we get our Mandela effect. So, maybe in different dimensions that we've collided with, like from the one that I'm from, what makes sense, well, the Earth is a globe, right? But from someone else, the Earth is a crater, and the South
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Antarctica, it's a big giant ice wall. Okay, let's instead of saying no, it's not, you're an idiot. Instead of doing that, let's say, okay, let's take that theory, and then there's also the flat earthers. Well, what if all three are correct?
And
Just
that actually
on
makes
which
the
one you
most
lived in.
sense whenever you think about like what a cult really means, like and stuff. There's a high possibility that the deepest like occult mysteries boil down to our eye projecting the reality, like the occult, the Oculus, and it could very well be that everybody's right, like you said, and like we might be individually experiencing a group experience, but like individually, like we all got our own little movie going on, and then we're in like one that somehow all meshes together though. Like everybody's in their own movie, but everybody's movie somehow perfectly like works into each other. Santos Bonacci has the only real flat Earth theory that makes me scratch my head, and I guess it's not really his. He's put it together, from him studying and stuff. But that how like there's I was just trying to draw it, but I couldn't do it. But I'm just gonna do it real quick. Santos thinks it's like a flat plane, and then there's like these different like 8 layers like this, and like there's stars and stuff are inside of one of these. But I'm not gonna pretend to know it. But I know he thinks that it's like Earth, and then he claims that everything's spherical above us, like all the planets and stars and everything are spherical, and that there's like these layers of it and stuff. But to me, I think that's being taken personally. I like listening to Santos, and he definitely like extends my perspective. At least it makes me more open minded about things. But I think he's taken ancient descriptions literally that are more trying to describe different types of like gaseous. Like I think some of it's like plasma, some of it's liquid, some of it's like air, like what we're in. And I think that I don't think that it's like literal like glass, like we're in some giant, well, what would be considered giant to us, some kind of big snow globe. I don't I think it's more dimensional, and physical matter gets a lot more like a lot more shady to try to understand. I think like the ether is either I think that it's a lot less how we would imagine third dimensional where we're at right now. I think it might not be as literal like glass dome layers, but it might be the matter itself changes and density and everything changes. But
Oh
we
yeah.
none of us will know until we really get to see, or if somebody can really show us, and we could really believe the evidence that we're seeing, because it's just like there's so many open-ended rabbit holes. Not to switch subjects on you, but that's another thing on why I've been kind of obsessed about this Ukraine stuff recently and everything, is because this isn't an endless rabbit hole. We're it's we could just go by what we're being told by like the media and by government officials and stuff to know like there's an energy theft being taken place, and this energy theft isn't new, and there's a lot of I'm not gonna try to really get too descriptive with like gotta kind of try to understand what I'm saying too much, because I don't want to get me or Jacob like in it, because if you ever want to find out who's in charge, that old saying, just see who you can't criticize. Like that's the situation. Like I understand that, but there's these two countries, and it seems like there's always had to be money that's getting taken out of American workers' paychecks and sent to them. Like this energy exchange thing that the majority of people have no idea about. Like we'll just say like the Holy Land, they get stimulus checks, or at least a lot of citizens there get stimulus checks that come from US dollars. And then they show us in all these mainstream news stories, these like buku dollar amounts, these crazy hundreds of millions, millions, billions, whatever it is, like all these crazy amounts of money that were given to Ukraine to fight the bad guy, Russia, and all this stuff. But it's like, man, we're in a bubble. There's no way we're not in a bubble. Like there's definitely a lot going on that the people are not aware of, which then is what I've been connected to about what we were discussing earlier, just a little bit, is the IGIGI and the ancient. There's like these little clues about who they were and stuff, and it sounds like they were in a similar situation as the American people are now.
Mm-hmm. Are you seeing the remaining
Um,
time?
no, but I just got a message on here that said running out of time. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we've got about 9.5 minutes left. So yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
it gives us like 30 minutes. So when we're talking about the Ukraine and all that, and the Gigi, I actually kind of have something pulled up that I wanted to share with you and share with other people. One thing, no matter what, there's one thing that you and I are absolutely on the same wavelength as. We know that they tell us truth in movies, right?
Right.
Especially like
Yeah,
Star
I
Trek and
definitely.
Star Wars and all, and that kind of shit, right? Let me show you something that's really pretty wicked. So we're gonna do a share screen. So check this out. This right here is a depiction of the Anunnaki, right?
Right.
Now you notice how the Anunnaki. I mean, one of them's like, I guess, Anu, Enlil, Enki. I'm not sure who all these individuals are at the moment, but you notice how their heads are kind of like cones.
Right. Yes. Yes. That's been pointed out for sure.
Yeah, like cone heads.
Hmm. Right. Yep.
Multiple rows of teeth, like the Nephilim, the giants. Like, wait a minute, what?
He's written, I think it's an Enoch, but yeah, about the extra rows of teeth with the
Yeah.
Nephilim.
Now, here's the other thing to take into consideration. You notice how they've got these horns on the sides of their head?
Everybody says Moses had horns because of them statues, them old statues of Moses.
So okay, so we're seeing horns on the sides of their heads. Well, somebody like, oh, it's decoration, it's all that stuff and whatever. But what if it's not?
Right.
What if they're
Right.
actual horns that are on their head, just like Darth Maul? We know there's a lot of truth in Star Wars as well. So it's like, yeah, they could be
Hmm.
actual horns, and
Oh
that's
yeah, they definitely could be. There could be some very stunning physical attributes of some groups that are a lot more still around and still behind some of the things that we see playing out that might be extremely shocking to people.
yeah. So now, all right, now this is the other thing. So check this out, folks. When we were just chatting about the Ajiji, what if? Now I'm thinking that the Ajiji, because this is something Justin and I were talking about earlier. A lot of because there's some debate with the woke people that like the black Americans or Africans that they were the first men on the planet. They were the first humankind on planet. It was the black people. It was like, well, yes, but no. In the way I'm looking at it, because when you look at the timeline of mankind, of humanity, of when we supposedly existed, and the time of when the Anunnaki got here, and the building of the Sphinx, the pyramids, because that was all built by the Ajiji. So
Right.
so when you actually break it down, you start looking at it. Here's a guy right here. Don't call him Adam. South Carolina man's genes help date first man. This dude right here, 338,000 years ago for his wife. Oh, hang on. Sorry. This thing is like lagging. Sorry about that. So his DNA goes back 338,000 years ago. That's
That is
literally
crazy.
the time of the Ajiji.
Oh,
Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
His name was oh credit. Oh dang it, I actually have his name here somewhere. Do. Oh, where did it go? Oh, show more. Sorry. There we go. It's Albert Perry. His name is Albert Perry. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the doggone article? Yeah, his name is Albert Perry. He's a black guy and he lives in South Carolina. But he's literally like the only one. So basically what happened was, and this was something you and I talked about, one of his sisters sent in his DNA to some DNA place to find out who he is. To trace your stuff back, and they literally couldn't
Mhm.
find out how old his like because they find out how old they can trace it back, and they couldn't put him in any sequence. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then come to find out that he's like his stuff is like super old, and it's like what?
That
So
is, I've never heard of anybody even. I don't even know how they detected that.
yeah,
Like how they.
I don't know either. So it really has to make you wonder, what are they really doing? So if you think about it, it's like 338,000 years old. And so, but according to the Bible, mankind is only like 6,000 years old. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that they're right and they're not lying. They're just splitting hairs. Let's just say that they're going to split hairs. Mankind, humanity, as we are right now, we are only, let's say, for maximum, let's say 6,000 years old. 6,000 years from what? A previous flood? Some kind of catastrophe? Another reset? What?
Deluge.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I do think it's definitely possible that it's, and this is crazy because the last video that is up on my original YouTube channel, well, the one I've been posting on, but it's actually like my backup channel, is America being led into a race war, and then my channel got taken down the next time I tried to upload a video. And then Tom McDonald just put a song out with Adam Calhoun, and it was titled Race War, and his got flagged. And like he's posting complaining about it every day and stuff because people like that subscribe to him, and I didn't even see it, and I'm subscribed to him, but they're really suppressing anything. Like and the thing is about my video and about Tom McDonald's song it was more about like don't let puppeteers like walk us into a race war with news headlines and stuff like that. Like we got to think for a second here. Like we have secret society leaders that would love nothing more than to just see straight chaos break out with all of us against each other, because then we're never going to look anywhere else at what's really going on. But it's just interesting that this everything is just being brought to me like at the same time. No matter, it's like I'm not even trying to look for things like the stuff with the IGIGI and the Ukraine stuff and everything, and I'm not explaining it well at the moment because I need to actually try to put my thoughts on paper properly. But it all seems to be like really really connected to each other because it's just the way that I keep stumbling upon stuff. But I do think it's possible that a GG is more of a title than an actual type or race of people, or even like a whole entire
well, they
species.
would
They
be
might be
considered the blue collar, individual.
right, and they could be made up. It's pause. I don't have any evidence really either way, but it's possible either way that they could be all one type. They could be all like Caucasian looking. They could be all like black looking. They could be all Asian looking, or they could be like blue. They could be like reptilian. They could be like grays. I can't find anything really to tell about it, but it's also just one thing that's popped in my head because I thought about it about Enki and Lil for a long time. Is it's possible that they are a multiracial or even multi-species group, and that it's all wrapped in together called
But
the
it could be. It could be a thing because of Nibiru traveling around that they've intermixed with other races, and so they have. I mean, it's possible. We
right.
we have a minute and a half.
Oh, okay. Well, anything that I kind of took up to a lot of the time, I didn't realize we were on time limit. So anything that you got, I want to show real quick. As you pulled that picture up, I had the same things. I've got a lot of books I need to start trying to share or give to people that don't want to use them. But this is all it's always about the perspective of the person, the author writing the book. But this is all I've been. The Gigi seems to be depicted all looking similar to each other. They are kind of they have the Sudoku eyes or whatever, the ones where people are talking about Russell Brand is a psychopath because like Donut Factory showed, because there's like a gap at the top of his eyes, and then always whenever it's supposedly in these hieroglyphs, the Gigi are showed with like the whites going all the way around their eyes. That's the only similarity that I've been able to find in
Right.
depictions of. I can't find anything about actual written physical descriptions yet.
We'll
I
have to
can't.
we'll have to get together again, and after you do a little bit more research on the eyes and stuff, and we'll have to figure out and do another video because we're about to end here in about 15 seconds. So
Yeah, okay. Well, let's hope the spirit of the IGIGI can influence the American people at this part. I'd like to end on that.
there we
That's
go.
what I'm hoping for. The same motivation. Stay up.
Right. All right, that sounds good, man. I do not see a thing for stop recording. Oh, there we go. All right, cool.